The Houston Astros go to Chicago and win the series against the White Sox. Yes, the White Sox, but the big fella came back and created some damage, and they bailed out Spencer Arrighetti. Let's talk about this today.
Jainel Diaz, this is Locked On Astros.
Hello and welcome to Locked On Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Huysman and Brett H-Town Wheelhouse Chancey.
We are Locked On Houston Astros, and we update you join us for a daily Locked On Astros podcast. My name is Eric Huysman. You can find me on X at Eric Talkstros. Find the show at Locked On Astros, your team every day. Thank you for making us part of your daily routine, whether it's on YouTube. Go ahead and subscribe to us. Go and make us your first listen. Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts, go and check out the Locked On Astros podcast and become an everydayer, somebody that listens to our podcast every day. We do appreciate you. We do see you, and thank you for that. Today's episode of the Locked On Astros podcast is brought to you by the Tax Network USA. Did you know that it's never too late to resolve your tax issues with the IRS? Don't wait. Reduce your tax debt and get help from a team of licensed tax professionals. Just call 1-800-549-1000 or visit tnusa.com/lockedon today. Brett, I know this was a kind of a tennis type of game where it's back and forth. The Astros ultimately took advantage of the White Sox inexperience and got the victory. But where can they find you at?
They can find me at H-Town Wheelhouse on X, Instagram, and TikTok. They can find me at Stros411 on Facebook and on X. They can also find me on Back to the Bullpen on YouTube as well, X, and on Instagram. Look, man, I'm always positive, always Stros, and y'all know that. And you know, the last couple of days, I've been kind of sounding the alarm of, is this team, who they are? Now, I'm not going to pretend that a series win where you should have swept the worst team in baseball is necessarily a victory, but these are games that you have to win. So if it's a series win, I'll take it. And Joe Espada said, we're just trying to win every series, and we'll get to it in the third segment. The Astros have a tall order. The Orioles just went into had a slugfest. Now the Yankees were without Aaron Judge, but it was an 8-7 game, and it was back and forth. Home runs. They've got young hitters. They've got a closer that's got a lot of energy, a lot of movement on his pitches. So we've got our work set out for us, Eric. Coming back home, but it's a happy flight back home. Yordan's back with the team, and what did he do? The big guy affects the game instantly. So you love to see it, but you love to see what happened today because Spencer struggled a little bit, and the team picked him up.
Yeah, at least he didn't kind of bail under pressure like he did in the last game. He didn't pitch deep into this game, but he did keep the Astros in this game, and that's what you want from a young pitcher. He pitched 4 1/3 innings. He allowed 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 4 walks, 2 strikeouts. So you're seeing kind of Spencer Arrighetti go through the roller coaster ride that is a rookie season. And you're going to expect that. You're going to see the highs, you're going to see the lows. And we're going to talk about another rookie that's going to make his debut tomorrow a little bit later. But in this game, you had Yordan Alvarez, who missed the first 2 games of the series, like you talked about. He woke up, took a plane right to Chicago, got there before the game, and was able to get 3 hits, including a home run in his first at bat. So he was a instant impact in this game, and he was a much needed bat that was missing. And the Astros got shut out in game 1, but they came back to get 23 hits and in the last 2 games, and to win the last 2 games. And Alex Bregman said that after losing game 1, the last 2 games of the series were must wins. That's the way they kind of went into this. They're like, we can't lose these games. Every team, every player, every team in the major leagues, you can't overlook them. And I'm not saying the Astros did going into game 1, but something happened, whether it's Cannon, he just was effectively keeping the Astros off their toes, so to speak, or on their toes. Something happened in that game, but the Astros took care of business in the other 2 games, and they now are getting closer to getting back to 500.
Yeah, so I think this is the 5th or 6th time they've been 5 games under 500. So we've been here before. They just need to get over that 5 game hump. And it's a tall order because you've got the Baltimore Orioles coming into town. Look, when you sit here and look at everything that happened with Spencer Arrighetti, in his first inning, he only saw 4 batters. He got a strikeout in his first inning. Second inning, he faced 6 batters, but he got out of the inning. There were no runs. And the third inning, same thing, 4 batters, 3 outs. And then it was the 4th inning where he walked Benintendi. Then Sosa grounded into a double play. But then you had some fielding issues, and you had the White Sox started their scoring. Actually, no, they didn't score in the 4th. They waited till the 5th inning to score their 3 runs. It was the 5th inning when the wheels fell off. I'm sorry, I was in the wrong place. Maldi singled, Pham walked. Luis Robert Jr., who's not been playing good, he missed did you see the ball he missed hit directly to him? He hit a double. Andrew Vaughn hit a single. So, these guys went up 3-1. So the Astros had that early 1-0 lead. The White Sox come back 3-1. And you're thinking, oh, crap. Well, here goes another, I thought it was going to be another run inning. And it didn't. It didn't get out of hand, like you mentioned. Arrighetti did say after the game, I watched his press afterwards, and he said when he got ahead of the hitters, he started trying to do different things. He said, I was overthinking and I was trying to do too much. Once I got in my hitters count, once I got 2 strikes, I was trying to, he didn't say fancy, but I think he was trying to be too like specialty guy. Like he was trying some different things and overthinking the process. And that's what was getting him in trouble. What I love is that Arrighetti sees his mistakes and he makes adjustments. That is what the difference is between a guy who can last in the major leagues for a long time and have a sustained career and someone who maybe comes up 1 or 2 years as good and fizzles out. I think there's a bright future for Spencer Arrighetti, to be honest.
That actually brings up a good point. The fact that for the past, year, maybe year and a half or so, Martin Maldonado has been the mentor, so to speak, for Yainer Diaz. And in this game, we saw them start both get the starting catching gigs. We'll go ahead and talk about Caratini in a second. He might be going on IL, but in this game, Yainer Diaz is not known for his speed. Maybe his pop time, maybe throwing out some runners here or there, maybe some power. He's not known for speed. He has not had a stolen base in his career. So what does he do in a game against his former mentor, Martin Maldonado? Of course, he gets his first career major league stolen base. And it wasn't even close. He almost overslid the base. He had to kind of do a balancing act to stay on the bag.
Right.
But he stayed still on the bag, and he kind of stared. I don't think it was totally with malcontent or anything, but it was just like,
oh no,
he just stared at Martin Maldonado. He's just like, I gotcha.
Exactly. That was mentor and mentee, professor and student. Yeah, and he has a healthy respect for Martin. I've actually talked to Yainer about that, and he has a lot. He has nothing but positive things. I mean, before the series, I almost said Lance Berkman. Alex Bregman was talking about how, there was a sense of an absence of presence whenever Martin Maldonado wasn't on this team. And I do think that early on that was part of some of their struggles. Now, I'm not hanging my hat and using him as the excuse, but I think this team has had so much stuff to deal with this year. Just one little added thing here and there is going to make a huge difference, but they're starting to do what they are supposed to do. Hit the ball. If they don't pitch well, pick up your pitcher, and then the back end of the bullpen takes care of business.
Yes. So I see that somebody's watching the podcast from a hospital bed. So
yeah.
Mama Chancey, I hope that you're getting better and everything.
Yeah. Well, I just I was just speaking with her. Well, actually not speak. I was texting with her because she was trying to get processed in. She may have pneumonia, and so they're gonna be running some tests. So if y'all could say some prayers for my mom, for Miss Krebs, I would appreciate it. Mom, thanks for watching. My mom's dedicated. Like, she's in the hospital, she's still watching the show. I love it.
Yeah, guys, go and make us your first listen on Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, become an everydayer like Brett's mom. And we'll go ahead and continue this conversation. The back end of the bullpen looked really good today. And what about Caratini? What's going on with him? We'll talk about that next.
You know, the instant confident boost that you get when that outfit makes you look really good. That's what I get with Stitch Fix. With Stitch Fix, you get a stylist who understands your style, your size, your budget. They do all the shopping for you. It's the easiest way to update your wardrobe this season. Easily upgrade your wardrobe this year with the professional stylist that helps you find new on-trend favorites that will work for you. My stylist always sends me the right pieces and the fit is on point. It's like they have style ESP. I don't know how they do it, but they just get me. Look, Stitch Fix makes it so easy. I don't like shopping. I don't have to go shopping. It saves me time. It saves me effort. And look, if in a case where I don't like an outfit or like something that they sent me, I can send it back. Shipping, returns, and exchanges are always free. Style that makes you feel as good as you look. Now is the best time to get started on stitchfix.com/MLB and get $100 off. That's $25 off your first 4 fixes for a limited time only. That's stitchfix.com/MLB for $100 off. Stitchfix.com/MLB. Must redeem within 7 days of sign up. Children's clothes are not included.
Guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day. Whether it's on YouTube, go and subscribe to us. Go and make us your first listen. Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast, go and check us out. If you can't get enough Astros talk, why don't you go and check out the Locked On Astros podcast as well with Michael Connor. You can find everything on your Amazon Fire TV stick. Just go and search the free channels app and you go and search baseball, Astros. You can just go and find Brett and Eric on your big screen if you want to watch all that. And so I know that a lot of people are like, well, Victor Caratini, he was taking care of business while Diaz was not on an IL, but he was kind of not playing for a little bit there. And so this is what Joe Espada had to say. He said that he's getting his left quad injury looked at. It's very sore. It's being looked at by team doctors. And he said that it might be an IL stint. Translation, 6 days from now, he's going to be placed on the IL, and then they'll call somebody up 6 days from now.
Well, here's the thing.
Did I do it right?
Yeah. So Joey Loperfido can come back, I believe, this weekend.
He can come back up tomorrow. Yes.
Yeah. But now he played yesterday, so that's a good thing. He did have swelling. He did have some inflammation in his hand when he injured his hand a couple days ago, sliding into third base. I don't know if it was extending a triple or going from first to third when he was on base. But with him playing last night, I'm assuming he's good. So what's going to have to happen, though, is when the guy we talked about in our last segment comes up, they are going to have to make a roster move. So there's going to be some moving parts. But Eric, today in the game, it wasn't all Astros who had the highest WPA, but there was another unsung hero. Remember yesterday's game? It was Cesar Salazar. Oh, and I was corrected. It's not Caesar, it's Cesar. Someone in our comments said that, and I guess I just default to Caesar. But here are the WPA leaders. Chris Flexen, who actually didn't pitch a bad game, 19.8. Look at Yordan Alvarez coming in there, 19.6. And Cooper Hummel.
Who? Who's that?
Cooper Hummel. Not hanging with Mr. Cooper, but Cooper Hummel came in. And Eric, these are the things that we can't overlook. Okay. We often, someone in the comments said Diaz and Pena aren't performing. Well, but the other guys are performing. I mean, Chaz did not have a great day at the plate, even though my guy Scott, he took a flight up there by himself, and you could hear him on the TV going, Chaz, Chaz, Chaz. He was in his Gator costume. You know, Chaz didn't have a great day at the plate, but Chaz hadn't been performing. Myers has been kind of up and down. But if you've got Salazar, if you've got Hummel, if you've got these guys on the roster, what do you want them doing? You want them contributing. And that's what it takes. It takes a team effort. And right now, this team needs all hands on deck. So we can't overlook that. And don't diminish this series win because it's the White Sox. You've seen this team all year. they've played bad baseball. And these are games that you're like, okay, they're probably going to get beat by the White Sox. Now, I know they should have swept, but right now, a win is a win is a win. I don't care if it's, if they upgrade a little league team to the majors and we beat them, it's still a win, right? So we got to take every win that we get. And it would be great. I think it would be a momentous change in the season if they could come in. I'm not saying sweep the Orioles, but they come in, win Friday's game, maybe win Sunday's game, at least win that series, win 2 out of 3, Eric. That would be a huge confidence boost for this team.
Yeah, I know a confidence boost is the fact that the Rangers are idle today. And so they, with the Astros winning, they now find themselves in sole possession, just a few percentage points ahead of the Texas Rangers for second place in American League. And I know that there's, if you're looking at it, they are 6 games behind the in the wild card standing. And if you're looking at where they are in the AL West, they are now 8 games behind the Mariners. So the
Mariners lost today. So so we are in second place, and we're celebrating being 8 games out of first place. We're celebrating, yes. But you know what's funny? The reigning World Series champions are in third place. They're like, oh, we can't wait till our pitchers come back. Now they'll probably throw 4 innings and go back on the IL. But they're not having a great year. And as bad as things have been, no offense, those dudes are injury prone. But as bad as things have been for the Astros, we're not defending the title. We didn't talk all the smack about how, I heard El Bombi talking spring training, how they're going back to back. Now, we still got 88 games left. I understand there's a lot of baseball to be played, right? But the Astros, again, what they have to do, Eric, is their approach has to be, when I come to the ballpark, what do I have to do today? How can I be 1% better than the day before? If my guy next to me is down, how do I pick him up? Like today, if Arrighetti gives up a few runs and they take the lead, how do I as a batter go in there and attack the pitcher and maybe change up my approach to get one over on him? Because the Orioles, dude, are throwing some of their best pitchers at us this year. You don't have a single pitcher on their side that has an ERA, I think, over 3. And Valdez is right there. He's pretty close. So you need your pitchers, but man, these hitters have got to attack. I know Spada's been preaching patience, but what do you do on a guy you have a lot of tape on? If you know he's going to try to get to you early with the fastball in the zone, freaking go after it. Altuve almost hit a home run today on like the 3rd pitch, just in the ballpark because of the wind.
In the third segment, we're going to go deeper into Jake Bloss. Who is he? Who do we think is going to be the corresponding roster move? But I do want to look at the Astros back into the bullpen, because this is back-to-back days where you had the big 3 get the job done. Taylor Scott came in and basically rescued Arrighetti 1 2/3 innings. He had 2 strikeouts. Then you had Brian Abreu just come in and just look like he's on video game cheat mode or something like that. And Ryan Presley came in. He allowed that 1 hit to lead off the inning, but he settled down, got a strikeout. And then Josh Hader came in and struck out 2 batters. And so this back end of the bullpen is starting to look like what the Astros paid them or paying them to do, right?
Right. No, yeah, definitely. Look, at the end of the day, it comes down to you doing your job. You have an owner that is maligned, that is ridiculed for going out and spending all this money on Josh Hader. But if you look at Josh Hader's stats, his last 24, I would say his last 24 outing, Eric, unreal.
They've been pretty good. I don't have stats in front of me, but I know that he's been pretty much one of the best relievers in baseball. He just got off to a bad start with Houston Astros. With all the expectations of a big time contract like that, that's going to put that pressure on you.
No, yeah. Gosh, if you just look at what he's doing right now, Eric, he has not. Let's see, where are his runs given up? He's given up 3 runs in his last, 12 or 13 innings pitched. but for the most part, he has been getting the strikeouts. He's been excellent. He only has one loss in the last 10 or 10 or 11 outings. He has 10 saves in his 23 appearances. So he's getting better. He's trending upward. Not only is he trending upward, Taylor Scott is actually at 1.69 on his ERA. He only has, I think, 32 or 33 appearances. Stanek had 59 and 22 and has the club record for ERA for a relief pitcher at 1.15. If Taylor Scott continues to do what he's doing, multiple innings not giving up a run, single innings not giving up a run, he could get pretty close to that 1.15.
Yeah, definitely. And so to have a find like Taylor Scott is great. And the Astros hope that they have a find in Jake Bloss. This is the first time that they've called somebody up from Double-A since Lance McCullers. So we'll go ahead and take a deep dive in this in a second.
Here at Locked On Astros, we pride ourselves on getting you the latest news for your team, whether it's the offseason, the draft, spring training, or the playoffs. It's year-round. You know what else is year-round? Collection season. Just because tax season is over doesn't mean the IRS will stop coming after you for unfiled taxes. The IRS can garnish your wages, levy your bank accounts, and even seize your property. Don't let the IRS target you. Let the licensed professionals and tax experts at Tax Network USA go to bat for you. Like myself, I have different statuses that I've got to file: self-employment, freelance, and my regular job through my school. Well, look, I need someone with over 14 years experience and an A+ rating by the Better Business Bureau like Tax Network USA, and they have saved their clients over $1 billion in tax debt. Whether you owe taxes, have complicated matters that require tax planning, or finally hit that parlay this season, you need help filing correctly, call 1-800-549-1000 or visit tnusa.com/lockedon. See the link in the episode description below.
Guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day. Go and subscribe to us on YouTube. That little red button down there, just go and press it for us and go ahead and help us get to 20,000 subscribers. That's our next goal. Then we want to get to 30,000 subscribers and beyond, baby. So go ahead and make us your first listen. Become an everydayer on Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast. Go and check us out and become an everydayer. So, Brett, I know that before we were talking about Jake Bloss. That we haven't really talked a lot about this. This is something that the Astros haven't done since Lance McCullers. There's been other players in the past that you've brought up, but this is something that a lot of teams don't do. And I know that if you're looking for where the pure stuff is, it's typically in Double-A. What they do in AAA is they refine the talent. So typically you're going to find the pitchers that have the stuff that are a little bit wild in AA. Then they go up to AAA to kind of refine that talent. That's a whole point for AAA. So Jake Bloss is, the Astros feel like he can throw 98 miles per hour. They feel like they've been watching him. He is only 22 years old. So maybe if the Astros somehow make it to the playoffs, then we can hear Buck say he's only 22 years old during the postseason or something like that. But Bloss is this year, he has a 1.74 ERA in 62 innings between high A and Double-A.
No, look, this kid is something else, and he's doing, I mean, he has been on the mind of Dana Brown for a long time. He graded out really well in the spring. His fastball has a good amount of ride from a lowish release point, and his slider has a lot of variable to it. Basically, his changeup is curveball graded out as average, but from what everybody's seen, what everybody says, all the people I've talked to that are into the minor leagues a lot deeper than we are, Eric, they say that this kid's stuff has a higher projectability than just about anybody in the system. And, you know, we were hearing to guys like Colton Gordon and other guys that were probably going to be making moves. And, well, it looks like Jake Bloss is the secret sauce. And so I didn't mean to rhyme that. That just really came out naturally. Jake Bloss, the secret sauce. So he's going to come out. He's going to come out Friday, and he's got a tough task. The Baltimore Orioles, who have Jackson, Adley. I'm not going to use her full name. Cedric, who hasn't had a great year, but he's still there. They've got oh gosh, what is the newest kid's name? The third baseman. Oh my gosh, I just starts with a W. Starts with a W. What is this? What is this Baltimore kid's name?
I'm not sure.
Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, help
I'm
me
pulling
out.
up their stats right now, but in terms
fam.
of they have the most home runs in the league with 119. They are like seventh in terms of batting average with a 253 batting average. They have a 768 OPS, which is the second highest, only trailing the Dodgers.
So they
Westberg.
have, Westberg, it's who I was thinking of course, Mountcastle, their first baseman, Colton Cowser. I don't know why I was blanking on these names. Santander, who has become like a legit major leaguer. I really like this guy. I mean, if we didn't have Kyle Tucker, I would love to have him. But with Gunnar, with all these guys, I mean, Eric, they've got some of the highest barrel percentages in the league.
Right.
Colton Cowser, 16.2%. We got Trey Cabbage is at 17.2%. He's got the highest barrel percentage of all these players.
Right.
Maybe Cabbage will go yard if he's still up here, if he survives.
All right. So Jake Bloss, we'll talk more about what the GM had to say about him, but he is not on the Astros 40-man roster. So not only are they going to have to add him to the 26-man roster, but you have to add him to the 40-man roster. There has not been a corresponding move yet, so that means you're going to have to remove somebody from the 40-man roster or add somebody to the 60-day IL. I've been looking over the roster, and I don't see anybody who are 60-day IL unless you want to do that to Kyle Tucker. No. And Justin Verlander. No. So that's not an option. So I'm not choosing violence. I'm just saying those are the only options that you could do there. So here's the options that you could possibly DFA. You have Caleb Orts, you have Alex Spees, and you also have, who's the other one I was just looking at? Dylan Coleman. Dylan Coleman has not really been anything this year. He's shown a lot of bit of wildness in his time with the Houston Astros. Spees showed something, and Ort he hasn't really done much, but also he has a little bit of experience in his past. So the Astros have to make a decision. So I have a feeling it's going to be one of those three guys going down.
Yeah, look, at the end of the day, I trust the process. I trust Dana Brown's decisions. And look, this is one of his 2023 picks. I mean, all his draft picks have been moving up through the system. I think Bryce Matthews is a kid that we're going to see sooner rather than later. I'm not talking about this year, but I think he's going to be a big part. It might be kind of cool. Bryce Matthews, Spencer Arrighetti, local kids making headway. I mean, it would be great for those two guys to become legit stars in Major League Baseball and both grow up in the Houston area. I think that would be great. Colton Gordon will, but Colton Gordon, I think, has struggled a little bit this year. I'll have to get another update on from our guy Kenny. But again, they're winning down there in AAA, and that can't be bad because that means they're one step closer. They're right on the cusp. I mean, look, they're all pros, but those guys are closer than anybody, and you want a winning culture. So if they do come up here, they know what it's like. They come up loose, and who knows, Jake Bloss may go out there, Eric, and pitch his mind out, and the adrenaline flow through where he just where he blacks out on the mound in a good way and just pitches really well. I remember Corbin Martin came out on his debut. We've seen guys. I was at Joe Musgrove's debut. That was a solid debut. There were a lot of pitchers that have come through here, and so let's just hope he does the best he can for this team to get a win.
Yes. So a lot of people might be saying why Jake Bloss. He said Dana Brown said we have 6 starters on the IL right now, so we're deep into our depth. So ultimately, I want to get somebody that had power to the fastball, who threw strikes, and I think that's a good combination of what he brings to the table. So when you're this far into your depth, you you have to make these kinds of moves. So you could have brought in Blair Henley, you could have brought in some other retreads that you've already tried, but this is exactly what I was mentioning on podcast the other day. At this point, if you want to make a run, you've got to don't keep on going to your retreads. You got to go out of your comfort zone, and you got to go for the star pick, and that's what Jake Bloss is. He said that Dan Brown said we were very fortunate that to get this type of talent in the third round, and Joe Espada said we're going to give him the information for him to be prepared and go out there and try to execute to the best of his ability. We expect him to go out there tomorrow and compete and do well. He's going to be facing a pretty tough lineup. And so that Dana Brown said he wants somebody out there that competes well between the lines. And that's a big part of the decision. As I mentioned, it's what you got. You got those strikes. This is the big leagues. We'll wait you out. And if they'll wait you out, and if you don't pound the strike zone, you're going to have a hard time competing.
That's right, man. Hey, it's been a good show, Eric, and I'm looking forward to the Orioles and Astros series. Hey, Mom, get better. I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Thanks everybody for tuning in to Locked On Astros. For everybody here at the show, just thank y'all for your support. Literally 11,500. We're actually 505, so we're less than 500 away from 12,000 subscribers. Let's get there. As the Astros climb, let's continue to climb here at Locked On Astros. So from everybody here, myself and Eric, y'all have a good one. And as always, what do we say, Eric?
Go Stros, and we'll see you tomorrow.